I'm Wyatt Kash, and we're here with Yahya, Managing Director for Pixel Partnerships at Google. Ian, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much, Wyatt, for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Let me start by asking, what are some of the key steps that government agencies can take to build a more cyber-resilient infrastructure?
Yeah, building a cyber-resilient infrastructure starts with a mindset shift from reactive security to proactive defense. For government agencies, that means designing systems that assume compromise and are built to limit vulnerabilities. We're seeing agencies embrace zero trust frameworks, strong identity and access controls, and end-to-end encryption as foundational elements. But it's also about visibility and speed, knowing where vulnerabilities exist and being able to respond quickly when threats emerge. Now at Google, we've been operating and innovating to respond to that kind of threat environment for decades when it comes to enterprise, and we bring those same protections to the public sector. One area that often gets overlooked is the mobile endpoint. That's where a lot of modern work happens, and it's also where risks can multiply if not managed properly. Pixel is an example of how we're building devices from the ground up with security and resilience in mind, baked into the hardware, regularly updated and supported by Google's Secure by Design infrastructure. We're leading the charge on a solution that can protect end-to-end encryption for RCS messaging, but also complete archiving on the device. It's not just about protecting the device, it's about protecting the entire ecosystem and ultimately the mission.
So next, I'd like to ask, what are some of the latest advancements in mission-critical communication technologies, and how are they being used to support public safety?
Yeah, mission-critical communications have come a long way in just the last few years alone. Today's technologies are smarter, faster, and more secure, built not just for voice, but for real-time data, situational awareness, and resilient connectivity. In public safety, the ability to share information quickly and reliably, especially in high-stress, high-stakes environments, can literally save lives. What's exciting is how cloud-based infrastructure, edge computing, and AI are now being integrated into those workflows to make frontline decisions smarter and faster. From advanced dispatch systems to AI-powered transcription and translation, we're seeing more tools that enable responders to act with clarity. But none of this works if the device in their hand can't keep up. That's where Pixel comes in. It's not just a smartphone, it's a secure, high-performance platform designed for real-world use. It supports 5G, works seamlessly with cloud-based apps, and has built-in features like satellite SOS, emergency location sharing, and live translation that are incredibly valuable in field operations. It's about empowering people with tools that are as mission-ready as they are.
I'd also be interested in how emerging technologies like space-based communication is enhancing global connectivity for government agencies. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, emerging technologies like satellite communications are definitely redefining what's possible for global connectivity, especially in remote or underserved regions. Government agencies, whether they're focused on defense, disaster response, or public health, are increasingly operating in environments where traditional infrastructure doesn't exist, or where it's been disrupted or not available. Now, low Earth orbit satellites and space-based internet solutions are making it possible to maintain secure, high-bandwidth connections, even in the most challenging geographies. This is a game changer, not only for operational continuity, but for bridging the digital divide. Now at Google, we're deeply invested in these technologies, and we view connectivity as a foundational layer for innovation. For us, it's not just about the network. It's about enabling people to stay connected to their mission, their teams, and the data they need, wherever they are. That's also why we've designed Pixel devices to be globally compatible, adaptable, and secure. When you're connected to the edge of the world, the technology in your hand shouldn't be the limiting factor. It should be the enabler.
So next, Ian, I'd like to ask, what are key considerations for government agencies when it comes to ensuring network security and reliability, especially in the face of increasing cyber threats?
Yeah, in today's threat environment, security and reliability are no longer just IT concerns. They're definitely strategic priorities. Government agencies must think holistically about their infrastructure, from core systems to edge devices, from user behavior to supply chain integrity. A big part of that is shifting towards zero trust architecture, where verification is continuous, access is limited to what's needed, and no one, even inside the perimeter, is automatically trusted. But security also needs to be built into the tools we use every day, especially on mobile. Now, Pixel is a great example of how we take that responsibility seriously. Every Pixel device comes with built-in protections like Google's Tensor Security Core, feature and security updates, and the Titan M2 chip, which protects sensitive data on the device. That kind of layered security ensures that even when threats evolve, your frontline devices are ready. For agencies, the key is working with partners who prioritize secure by default solutions and who understand the unique pressures of public service. We believe in doing the heavy lifting on the security side so our government partners can stay focused on what matters most, serving the public.
And lastly, how can government and industry better collaborate to drive innovation in AI and other emerging technologies?
Yeah. The future of innovation, especially in AI, depends on meaningful collaboration between governments and industry. Government brings the scale, the mission, the focus, and the responsibility to protect the public interest. Industry brings speed, expertise, and the ability to scale quickly. But the real value happens when we co-create, when we sit at the same table and build solutions together. At Google, we've been leaning into that approach with many of our government partners, whether it's applying AI to accelerate emergency response or improve accessibility to public services. We know that the best outcome happens when innovation is rooted in real-world challenges. It's also about trust, building systems that are secure, transparent, and accountable. That includes the devices we use to access and interact with AI. With Pixel, for example, AI features leveraging the Tensor chip to do tasks like on-device transcription, call screening, and contextual awareness are designed to be helpful and private, processed right on the device, without sending data to the cloud. That's the kind of thoughtful innovation we believe government deserves. The more we work together, the more we can unlock these technologies for public good.
Well, Ian, Yahya, thank you so much for joining us here, sharing your perspective on how Google and Pixel are helping government agencies really be more secure and reliable with their network devices.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.